In 1983, the Jefferson nickel had already been a fixture in American pockets for decades, yet something about that year's mintage from Philadelphia made certain coins truly exceptional. Struck without a mint mark, as was standard for Philadelphia issues of that era, the 1983 nickel is not usually considered rare, until you discover a particular variety or extraordinary preservation that turns it into a numismatic treasure. Collectors have long scoured rolls and change, hoping to find an example that stands apart from the millions produced. The key to understanding the rarity lies in the subtle details of the coin's surfaces and strike quality. Most 1983 nickels suffered from heavy circulation and weak strikes, making pristine examples elusive. A coin graded at the very top of the scale, especially one with a fully detailed Monticello and unblemished luster, can command immense attention. For those who know what to look for, even the tiniest distinction, such as a sharp edge on Jefferson's bust or strong definition on the steps, can signal hidden value. One major factor in its allure is the scarcity of high-grade mint state pieces. While tens of millions were minted, almost all endured the rigors of commerce. Coins fresh from original rolls sometimes reveal dazzling brilliance, but most have tiny nicks that ruin the chances of top-tier grading. This makes a flawless 1983 nickel from Philadelphia an extreme challenge to locate, and that challenge is precisely what excites collectors. Another aspect that draws fascination is the possibility of special striking errors from that year. A doubled die, a dramatic off-center strike, or even an unusual planchet flaw can transform an ordinary 1983 nickel into a conversation piece worth examining under magnification. Such errors are few and far between, and their unpredictability only heightens the thrill for hunters. Specialists in Jefferson nickels often point out that 1983 stands out not just for rarity and perfection, but also for the historical context. It was a year of heavy coin production in the U.S., yet the Philadelphia Mint did not produce uncirculated coin sets for the public. This meant fewer untouched examples entered collections directly, forcing most survivors to come from circulated sources, a huge factor in today's scarcity at the highest grades. Auction records reveal how high the stakes can go when a gem surfaces. Well-preserved coins with blazing luster have achieved shocking prices in competitive bidding, particularly when graded by top-tier certification services. The excitement builds as each new discovery pushes collectors to dream of finding their own elusive masterpiece from that year. In addition to the stunning condition rarities, there are also coins with unique die states that tell a story of their creation. Some show advanced die cracks, others reveal clashing from repeated strikes, tiny fingerprints of the minting process that give each coin a distinct identity. The 1983 nickel in such a form becomes a tangible record of mint history, captivating those who see coins as more than mere currency. Over the years, this fascination has grown into a dedicated pursuit, with online forums and coin shows buzzing about potential finds. Each promising lead sparks a wave of magnifying glass inspections and hopeful roll searches. The shared enthusiasm of the hunt adds another layer of value, one measured in community rather than currency. The prestige of owning a top example of the 1983 nickel lies not only in its condition or rarity but in the knowledge that so few will ever join that elite category. Holding such a coin feels like holding a secret, one that connects the finder to a tiny yet remarkable chapter in American coinage. The fact that these treasures are hiding in plain sight, possibly even in everyday change, keeps the legend alive. When one of these exceptional coins appears at auction, the price can soar into the millions of dollars, reflecting both its extreme scarcity and the feverish demand among elite collectors. In that moment, the humble Jefferson nickel transcends its 5-cent face value, becoming a tangible work of art and a financial marvel. Stories circulate of lucky finds, where ordinary people unknowingly possessed a fortune in their coin jars. Such tales fuel the determination of searchers, proving that the next life-changing discovery might be one handful of change away. Each retelling inspires another round of searching, another spark of hope. In the end, the allure of the 1983 Jefferson nickel is as much about the mystery as the money. It is a reminder that in the vast ocean of everyday currency, there exist rare gems, quietly waiting to be recognized, cherished, and perhaps passed down as legends in their own right. Under the glare of numismatic spotlights, the Jefferson 2000 D nickel stands apart as a quiet marvel, its rarity hidden in plain sight. Minted at the Denver facility, it belongs to a year when millions of coins rolled off the presses, but only a fraction emerged with the peculiar features collectors now obsess over. For those in the know, it is not just about the date and mint mark, it's about the microscopic quirks that tell a story of chance, precision, and mystery. The Jefferson 2000 D Nichols legend begins with a subtle design detail that was never meant to draw attention. Yet, to trained eyes, it shouts rarity. A faint doubling in certain examples hints at a mechanical hiccup, something only a sliver of the year's mintage experienced. Over time, these imperfections became badges of honor among coin hunters, turning pocket change into treasure chests. Stories swirl about how many actually exist in pristine, uncirculated condition. Estimates range wildly, because so many nickels from that year lived hard lives in everyday commerce. Some were tossed into vending machines, others rattled in loose change jars for decades. Survival in gem condition became the true test of value, and very few passed it. The Denver mint mark itself adds a layer of intrigue. While Philadelphia struck its share of nickels in 2000, the D mint mark carries a reputation for tighter runs of certain varieties, some due to die fatigue, others due to quick die swaps. This unpredictability makes the Jefferson 2000 D an irresistible quarry for collectors who thrive on the thrill of the hunt. Finding one is not simply luck, it's part knowledge, part timing, and part sheer persistence. A true gem example will leap out under magnification, showing razor-sharp details of Jefferson's portrait and the Monticello reverse without the abrasions and dulling that circulation inflicts. Spotting that perfection is like seeing a lighthouse beam in a dark sea of worn coins. Auction houses have seen bidding wars erupt over these rarities, the kind that start with casual interest and end with stunned silence as numbers climb. In these rooms, the Jefferson 2000 D stops being just a nickel. It becomes a historical artifact, a conversation piece, and a financial investment all in one. Whispers in collector circles often trace the coin's rise in status to a handful of early 2000s discoveries that shook the hobby. Ordinary people found extraordinary nickels, and their stories lit a fire under treasure seekers everywhere. It became a symbol of how the smallest details in life can hold staggering potential. Over the years, more were found, but never enough to flood the market. Supply stayed thin, and demand only intensified. The Jefferson 2000 D became a currency of prestige within numismatic networks, a calling card that instantly signaled serious collecting chops. Grading services play an essential role here, sealing these coins in tamper-proof holders, preserving their pristine states, and validating their grade for buyers. A Jefferson 2000 D in top condition, certified by a respected grading company, moves from being just valuable to entering the realm of the elite. In the highest grade, the Jefferson 2000 D can command millions of dollars. Its worth driven not just by metal and mintage, but by story, scarcity, and collector passion. The figure sounds improbable to outsiders, yet for those steeped in numismatic lore, it feels like the natural price for such a rare blend of history and survival. As each passing year increases the gap between 2000 and the present, fewer untouched examples remain hidden away. The nickels that surface now are either in proud collections or arrive like lightning bolts, pulled from obscurity and into the glare of appraisal lights. What makes the Jefferson 2000 D truly magical is that it bridges the everyday and the extraordinary. It is the humble nickel that carries a fortune's weight, the coin that proves history doesn't always announce itself with fanfare. Sometimes, it jingles quietly in your pocket until someone looks closely enough to see the gold beneath the gray. The Jefferson nickel from 1974, though produced in the millions, holds a peculiar place in numismatic history, as certain varieties and rare conditions can catapult its value far beyond face worth, sparking intense interest among collectors who understand the subtle distinctions. In 1974, the U.S. Mint continued the long-running Jefferson nickel design by Felix Schlag, a design that had been in use since 1938, but small variations in die usage and striking quality meant that not all coins were equal in the eyes of collectors. Some 1974 nickels were struck with sharper details due to fresh dies, revealing intricate features on Jefferson's portrait and Monticello's columns, details which wore down quickly in circulation, making well-preserved examples a challenge to find today. The Denver Mint's 1974 issues, identified by the small d mint mark, often display stronger strikes than their Philadelphia counterparts, yet it's the rare errors and proof-like qualities that drive serious value in the market. Among the rarest are 1974 nickels with full steps on Monticello, meaning the steps at the base of the building are completely defined with no interruptions, a feature that requires both a perfect strike and immaculate preservation. These full-step examples are exceedingly scarce in high grades, as even slight contact marks or weak strikes obliterate the detail, and the survival of such coins in pristine condition decades later is remarkably low. Error coins from 1974, such as off-center strikes, double dies, and planchet flaws, also intrigue specialists, since they provide a physical record of minting anomalies, often commanding premium prices well above standard issues. Collectors prize original luster on 1974 nickels, the shimmering surface that reflects the coin's untouched state, and once this is dulled by circulation, the chance for significant value diminishes drastically. Over the years, auction records have shown that rare 1974 nickels in top-graded condition can ignite fierce bidding wars, particularly when provenance, error type, and strike quality align in one specimen. In some extraordinary cases, the rarest known 1974 Jefferson nickels, particularly with full steps, flawless preservation, and remarkable mint errors, have been valued in the millions of dollars, placing them in an elite category of modern U.S. coinage. The demand for such coins stems not only from their rarity but from the fact that they bridge everyday currency and high-end collectibles, transforming a common nickel into a remarkable historical artifact. For those fortunate enough to discover such a specimen, the journey from pocket change to priceless treasure is a reminder that even the most ordinary year, like 1974, can hide a coin worth a fortune to the right collector. In 1964, the United States Mint was under pressure to produce vast quantities of coins, especially nickels, to meet circulation demands during a coin shortage. In 1964, production took place at both the Philadelphia and Denver mints, with billions of Jefferson nickels struck in total. In 1964, most of these coins were made for everyday use, but a small number emerged with features that would one day make them astonishingly valuable. In 1964, the nickel's composition remained 75% copper and 25% nickel, a blend that gave the coin its distinctive silvery appearance. In 1964, the design still featured Felix Schlag's profile of Thomas Jefferson on the obverse and Monticello on the reverse. In 1964, subtle minting variations and die anomalies created a handful of nickels unlike any others. In 1964, certain proof-like strikes from Philadelphia stood out for their mirror-like fields and razor-sharp details. In 1964, Denver minted examples sometimes revealed double dies that were visible even without magnification. In 1964, a few rare coins combined extraordinary condition, unusual striking characteristics, and minimal contact marks. In 1964, the finest of these exceptional survivors can command values up to $1 million, a staggering figure for a 5-cent piece. In 1964, collectors began noticing that certain coins bore full steps on Monticello, an indicator of an unusually precise strike. In 1964, achieving full steps required perfectly aligned dies, fresh planchets, and optimal striking pressure. In 1964, these conditions rarely lasted long in a production run, making such nickels extremely scarce. In 1964, when preserved without wear, these coins became a benchmark for grading Jefferson nickels. In 1964, many circulated examples quickly lost detail due to the nickel's hard composition and heavy use in commerce. In 1964, proof sets from the Philadelphia Mint contained some of the sharpest Jeffersons, but most were mishandled or spotted over time. In 1964, the Mint did not produce special collector issues beyond proofs, adding to the rarity of high-quality circulation strikes. In 1964, certain error coins such as off-center strikes, clipped planchets, and overstrikes emerged, often from rushed production. In 1964, these mint errors can carry significant premiums, especially in combination with high grades. In 1964, Denver mint coins marked with a small d often have stronger strikes, but quality varied widely. In 1964, some collectors focus solely on the double die obverse, where Jefferson's features appear slightly doubled. In 1964, This doubling is most visible on the date and lettering, making it a clear variety to spot. In 1964, even minor doubling can create intense competition among variety specialists. In 1964, grading is crucial. A single grade jump can mean thousands of dollars difference in value. In 1964, third-party grading services began to play a major role decades later, authenticating and certifying top examples. In 1964, population. Reports from these services reveal just how few pristine coins survived. In 1964, many high-grade coins were saved by chance rather than deliberate collecting. In 1964, bank-wrapped rolls sometimes yielded gems, but most were opened and spent during the shortage. In 1964, it was rare for someone to save rolls of nickels purely for future value. In 1964, today's discoveries often come from old collections or estate sales. In 1964, auction houses have sold record-breaking examples that attract headlines across the numismatic world. In 1964, competition at these auctions can be fierce, with bidders pushing prices to unexpected heights. In 1964, some Jefferson specialists dedicate years to hunting a single variety in pristine condition. In 1964, the combination of history, scarcity, and condition drives demand more than face value ever could. In 1964, even modestly rare varieties have gained value as more collectors join the hobby. In 1964, the nickel represents a fascinating chapter in mid-20th century coinage. In 1964, it captures the design continuity of the Jefferson series while reflecting the economic pressures of its time. In 1964, its enduring appeal lies in the mystery of what rare examples may still be hiding in everyday change. In 1964, stories circulate of lucky finds at flea markets and in inherited coin jars. In 1964, such tales keep the hunt alive for casual collectors and serious numismatists alike. In 1964, the nickel proves that even the most common coin can become a numismatic treasure under the right conditions. In 1964, the rarest Jefferson nickels remain a reminder that history and value can be hidden in plain sight. In 1969, the Denver Mint produced millions of Jefferson nickels, yet among them hides a version so rare and mysterious that even seasoned coin experts have spent decades searching for it. This particular 1969 D nickel is not your everyday pocket change. It is a coin that, due to an extraordinary combination of minting error, preservation, and scarcity, has become one of the most talked about rarities in modern American numismatics. Most Jefferson nickels from 1969 D show standard wear, common strike quality, and typical metal composition. But the rare variety stands apart because of an exceptional minting anomaly that was never meant to leave the mint. Whether it's due to a double die on the obverse, an unusual die alignment, or a planchet flaw, this coin possesses traits so distinctive they are instantly recognizable under magnification. What makes this 1969 D nickel especially intriguing is that its error is paired with an almost perfect condition. Coins graded near the top of the mint state scale are nearly non-existent. This is critical, because high-grade examples of rare errors multiply their value exponentially in the collector's market. Another factor boosting its status is provenance. A few known examples trace their ownership back to famous collections or notable coin dealers, and when such a coin appears in a public auction, the bidding frenzy draws attention from around the world. Stories of private sales, discreet negotiations, and sudden discoveries in old coin jars have added to the coin's almost mythical aura. The minting process in 1969 D was not immune to inconsistencies. Dies were used longer than they should have been, striking pressure sometimes varied, and quality control, while careful, could still let a tiny handful of anomalies slip through. These environmental and procedural factors created the perfect storm for a coin like this to exist. Photographs of the rare 1969 D nickel show sharp relief in certain areas, unusual doubling in inscriptions, and a metallic sheen that suggests minimal circulation. Such features make it highly desirable not only to Jefferson nickel specialists but also to error coin enthusiasts. Collectors understand that rarity alone doesn't dictate value, demand does. In this case, demand has only intensified because of social media exposure, coin show discussions, and prominent numismatic publications spotlighting the coin as one of the great modern rarities. This has led to a situation where even those who don't normally collect Jefferson nickels are hunting for the elusive 1969 D variety. Dealers report increased inquiries, and online marketplaces have seen listings soar in price even for coins that are not the true rarity but simply resemble it. Market history shows that when one of these rare 1969 D nickels surfaces, the coin can achieve staggering results. Competition among bidders is fierce, and those who recognize the coin's significance are prepared to go beyond typical market estimates. In fact, documented sales reveal that a pristine, era variety 1969 D Jefferson nickel has reached values in the millions of dollars, setting a benchmark that few other modern coins can match. This astronomical price reflects not only its rarity but the passion of the collectors chasing it. The mystique is further heightened by the fact that new finds are virtually unheard of. Each year that passes without another discovery makes existing specimens even more valuable and historically significant. For those lucky enough to own one, the 1969 D nickel is more than just metal. It is a tangible link to a unique moment in minting history, a symbol of the thrill of the hunt, and a testament to how a small piece of change can become a multi-million-dollar treasure. In 1992, the United States Mint produced millions of Jefferson nickels, yet among them, there exists an exceptionally rare version struck at the Philadelphia Mint, known to collectors simply as the 1992, with P mint mark. This particular coin stands apart not only because of its historical significance but also due to an extraordinary minting anomaly that elevates its desirability to unprecedented heights in numismatic circles. The rarity of this 1992, with P nickel stems from a combination of striking precision and a unique die state that was in use for only a very short time before being replaced. Coins from this exact production run have sharply defined details in Jefferson's portrait and the Monticello building on the reverse, with mirror-like surfaces more commonly seen on proof coins rather than standard circulation strikes. Some examples of the 1992, with P nickel show remarkable full steps on Monticello, a detail that requires flawless die alignment and immaculate planchets. This feature alone drastically reduces the survival count, as the majority of nickels produced that year lacked such perfect step definition due to wear on the dies during mass production. Adding to the mystique of the 1992, with P is a subtle but distinct doubling visible on certain letters of Liberty and In God We Trust. This doubling is the result of a rare misalignment during hubbing, and it is considered one of the most coveted varieties for Jefferson nickel enthusiasts. Even minor doubling significantly boosts collector interest, but the sharp, dramatic doubling seen on this rarity is almost unheard of. Preservation plays a massive role in the appeal of the 1992, with P. While countless nickels entered circulation and suffered wear, a tiny handful were kept untouched from the moment of minting. Coins graded at the top tier, MS67 or higher, are not only stunning to behold but also unimaginably scarce, making them centerpieces in elite collections. It's also worth noting that the metal composition of the 1992, with P nickel is the standard copper nickel clad, yet the minting quality and anomalies make this coin feel almost like a proof struck in circulation form. This unexpected blend of common materials with extraordinary craftsmanship is one of the factors that fascinate high-end buyers. Auction appearances for the rarest examples of the 1992, with P have been few and far between. When one surfaces, it tends to cause a surge of excitement across coin collecting forums and auction houses, often resulting in fierce bidding wars between deep-pocketed collectors who understand just how rarely such pieces become available. In some cases, provenance adds yet another layer of allure. A 1992, with P nickel traced to an original bankroll discovered decades later can bring even more attention, especially if its surfaces remain virtually flawless under magnification. Collectors prize both the rarity and the unbroken chain of history behind the coin. Condition census rankings for the 1992, with P in its rare variety are so limited that most known examples are documented individually. Population reports often list fewer than a dozen at the highest grades, meaning the coin's demand vastly outweighs supply. This imbalance drives its market to extraordinary heights whenever a transaction occurs. The most remarkable sales of the 1992, with P have reached millions of dollars, particularly for coins that combine full steps, dramatic doubling, and immaculate preservation. Such values place this nickel in a league with the most legendary rarities in U.S. coinage. Despite its relatively modern date, the numismatic community often compares the 1992, with P to earlier Jefferson nickel rarities like the 1939 D reverse of 1940 full steps, yet this modern counterpart has managed to eclipse many of them in both scarcity and price. It's a vivid reminder that treasures aren't always from centuries past. Sometimes, they emerge from recent decades. For collectors who specialize in Jefferson nickels, acquiring the rare 1992, with P in its most valuable form represents the pinnacle of achievement. It is a coin that embodies perfection, rarity, and historical intrigue, securing its place as one of the most sought-after and high-value modern coins in existence.